Hey, Mike, it's Cam. How are you doing?
Hey, Cam. Good. How you doing, man?
Good, good. A couple of quick things. Just, I want to know how much versatility is being stressed this camp, knowing that anybody might have to fill in for another guy, and whether even the new guys that have come on the offensive line, they have experience in Shanahan's system. So, how simple does that make it?
Well, I guess it's never really quite as simple as you want it to be, especially if you don't have an off season to get used to playing next to a couple people. And we got some guys filling in some new spots, but in terms of the understanding of the greater picture of our offense, it's extremely helpful. There's a lot of nuances to it. There's a lot of different techniques that need to be applied in different spots, and it's good to have a background in that to get the ball rolling for us. Versatility is going to be absolutely huge. It's going to make or break guys having jobs and make or break, situations to fill our roster, because we can get in any situation at any point this year that we're not just looking out for injury. We're looking out for something that we can't really defend ourselves from at times. And so to be able to have the ability to plug and play guys in different positions at different times is really going to allow us to keep moving as smoothly as operationally possible.
Apologies for a two-parter, Mike, but who's been lining up next to you at right guard so far?
It's been a rotation between Dan Brunskill and Tom Compton.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other question would be, there are a couple of newcomers on the line, and what are your early impressions of Tom Compton and also of the rookie Colton McKivitz?
Well, both are extremely great guys. Great to have in our room, and they were great additions to the culture that we have. In only getting to know them through Zoom in the spring and now in the last 2 weeks or so, they're really a lot of fun to be around. And going back to that point, both very, very versatile football players. They've played a lot of football. Colton in college, Tom in the NFL, at a lot of different spots and a lot of different schemes. And Tom played for a long time in Kyle's system in Washington too. So it's two guys that are going to come in and compete really hard for us, give us a little bit added depth at not just the one position, but like Cam had said, a bunch of them, and going to allow us to do certain things with those guys there and push other guys forward, which is really cool. And obviously the other newcomer, if you can call him a newcomer, is Trent, and he's been an unbelievable guy to work with over the last 2 weeks or so. And even just in walkthrough, you still kind of get a little jaw drop by how smooth and how much of an athlete he truly is at his size. And it's going to be cool to pick his brain over the next couple weeks here, going through training camp once live bullets start flying and seeing him back in action.
Hey, Mike, following up on that, what you just mentioned about Trent, he last week was kind of telling us he felt like he was a kid again, starting over, getting back to football. Have you picked up on that, and how is that kind of maybe manifested just in terms of him fitting in with the team?
Well, I think I think that's kind of the mindset that majority of our team has. Is we are grown men, but we act like little kids a lot of the time, and we have a lot of fun, and we have the ability to compete with each other at all times and fly around, and there's just a charge of energy that's in our building. And it just keeps getting more and more, you can feel it more. And I think Trent has been exposed to that for the first 2 weeks now, and it's kind of just like a reigniter to what he, the career that he's had, and it gives him a new excitement for what we're able to do. And on top of the fact that we are all great people and all have a lot of fun when we do what we do, but we're also really damn good football players. And seeing that kind of competitive edge throughout, and seeing the way that guys are working, and the guys that once the whistle blows and you're in between the white lines, even if it's walkthrough, the deliberate nature of our practices and the ability of guys to stay locked in such a monotonous and slow-paced kind of environment right now, and the energy that we have even in those situations is a testament to who Kyle and John have brought in here, and the people that are here, and how cool our team truly is.
Hey, Mike, Keyshawn from the San Francisco News. Quick
How
question.
you doing?
Hey, over last week, Aaron Donald was talking about the face shield, how in the trenches you guys will have like contact every play. Will you be wearing a face shield this year?
I haven't tried it out yet. I'm not sure yet. I'm hopefully going to try it out once we put helmets on and stuff like that, and hopefully have all the right airways moving and possible. And, us big guys aren't the best with cardiovascular athleticism all the time. So if anything inhibits my ability to do that well, I think I'll probably have to say no. But from what it looks like and from what everything, it's a cool opportunity for us and something that gives us a little added protection in the situations that we're in. And, really you just hope that more so than the face shield, you just hope guys are really pros about everything that's going on this season. Because it's not just it's not just your teammates and your teammates' families. It's, once you start playing games, you're affecting the entire league at that point. And so hopefully everybody can have, the discipline and control and the accountability to one another, that we can make this thing move as smoothly as possible, especially in the trenches when we are up close and personal.
Mike, this is Chris Biederman from the Sacramento Bee. Last year, as the season went on, it seemed like you guys incorporated some power running schemes into the offense. I'm wondering if that stuff started to get installed maybe around training camp, and if because of these new circumstances, because of the pandemic, if it's more difficult to install wrinkles like that this summer.
I don't think so. I think it's always something that's been in our playbook. It's just it's another added weapon that we have, and another thing that we can build upon in different ways to attack defenses. It's something that it's always in our install. It's always obviously the thing that we do best in our base stuff is the outside zone and the wide zone, and that's that's our bread and butter. But throughout the year, the way teams respond, you can use different things like power, gap schemes, inside zone schemes, because of the way that teams are going to react to what we do. And so it's another little knife to sharpen for us, if you will, in that regard. And it's something that we do constantly all year round. And depending on the matchups of each team, we run a little bit more or less depending on whatever Kyle's feeling.
Hey, Mike, it's Matt. When you look back, do a self-scout of the 2019 season for you, what did you see and what areas were your focus in this offseason? And, you look around at that NFL top 100, and a lot of your teammates are on that. And I realize a lot of that is perception and how you're viewed, and obviously reality too. But what do you think you have to do to emerge on a list like that from a league-wide perspective?
Honestly, I think for me, it's doing what I did the whole back half of the season and doing it better and much more consistently. After the injury happened, I'd started getting a little feel for it before that in the Cleveland game and a little bit in the Pittsburgh game, and starting to be able to stack experiences and study and preparation on top of it. And the 4 weeks that I had off in the middle of the season last year really allowed me to focus on myself and how I was moving, how I was studying the game, how I was studying the nuances of our offense, and then how to apply them to what we do. I think for me, the player that I was in the back half of last season is a completely different player than the one that started it. And the whole goal for me is to continue to build on that and build on the success that I had, both run and pass, and just the overall consistency and domination of the blocks that I had. And then obviously, like everybody else, the offseason is a time to be a better athlete. You want to everything that you do, it has to make you and put you in a situation where you're bettering yourself for the opportunity that you have on the field in the fall. And I did a great job with Dustin Perry, Ben Peterson, Dustin Little, and our staff here. I stay here. I'm a Bay Area native now, and so I was here working with our staff and all that stuff. And I'm really, really proud of what we did and the things that we and the basics that we put back into my training that are going to allow me to, I think, be a much more functional athlete and stronger football player.
Hey, Mike, you made reference to this, but just wondering, baseball has had a few outbreaks, and I think in some cases been traced to guys, going out or being where they're not supposed to be, or, being among groups or whatever. I'm sure the coaches have addressed that with you guys, but as far as personal responsibility, once you leave the facility, how much are you guys talking about that amongst yourselves, and do you take some sort of leadership role in that?
We take it very seriously. We talked about it. It was the first thing that we talked about when we came in as a team, and Kyle addressed it in the team meeting. You have a responsibility, and we're very lucky. There's a lot of people that work their whole lives to be able to do their small business, their teaching, coaching, high school and college levels, all these different essential workers that are out there now, that there's people that are forced to be out there, there's people that have the choice like we do, and there's people that it's getting taken away from them. And I think the perspective that you need to have is that we are very, very fortunate to be in the NFL, to have a system put in place, and so proud of the PA and the league and the negotiations that we put in place over this season to protect and make guys feel safe. And on top of all the protocols that they've put in place, I mean, if anybody could see what's going on in our building right now, the testing sites, the mask wearing, the social distance meeting rooms, the social distance, it's the social distance cafeteria. The protocols that are in place are going to keep us safe, and then it just becomes an individual matter. And there's guys that are sacrificing. Like, I know I saw the story, like Raheem, and his wife and kids are back in Ohio, and he has to, he's making the decision for our football team to be here, and they're making great sacrifices. We have 3 guys on the offensive line that are going to play for us this year that just had newborns in the last 3 months, and so you do things for those guys. And fortunately for me, I'm single. I'm by myself here now, and I don't have that pressure of being. Obviously, my family's on the East Coast, but I have to do that anyway every year. But these guys that are sacrificing for our team to have the opportunity to compete for a Super Bowl and build on what we did last year, that are making the ultimate sacrifice to be away from loved ones and people that need them, you owe it to them to be responsible as an individual, and you owe it to them, to the rest of the league that's in the same situation. And and you just hope that guys are going to feel that. They're going to feel that responsibility and morality to do that, and make the correct decisions so that we can all have a great season and stay safe.
We'll do our last one for Mike.
Hey, Mike, this is David Lombardi.
How you doing?
Yeah, great. You were talking about their bread and butter being the outside zone. Obviously, you've gotten a lot of experience these past 2 years doing a lot of blocking in space. To me, it seems that Kyle has loaded up on not just linemen now, but Jalen Hurd, Jawan Jennings. You have big receivers who will also complement that effort in doing the same thing. I just want to know what it's like from a mobile offensive lineman's perspective now, that when you start to envision what this offense will look like, how nice will it be to be able to be next to big tight ends and receivers who are 6'4", 6'5", who are also able to block that well in space in this scheme?
It's exciting, and it's you can clearly see the vision that Kyle and John and the rest of the staff and the motivation that they have to do what they love to do, and that's coach hard in the run game and get everything building off of that. Kyle talks about it all the time. It takes all 11 guys to be able to run the football successfully. It takes us in the 5 or George and the 6 of us at the line of scrimmage to start the play, and then you get the big plays and you get the big carries and the chunk yardage to keep moving the chains like we did towards the end of the year by all of the receivers selling out to make sure that they're doing their job and their part in the run game. And our versatility of being able to put so many different people in so many different spots out on the outside and in space, and still having them all do the same job, regardless if they're the Jalen Hurds that's 6'4", 240 and built in a lab, or if you're Trent Taylor and going in there and throwing your face in somebody that's twice the size of you and you're still kicking his ass. So it's kind of the cool thing about what we have here. And obviously the guys like Jawan and Jalen are very exciting, and they're virtually just another big guy out in space that can just continue to dominate in the run game. But there's clearly a vision and a code for what we do, and everybody embraces it, regardless of you being the biggest guy or the smallest guy. Everybody takes pride in the way that we run the football, and that's really, really cool to be a part of, especially from an offensive lineman's perspective.
Hey, Mike, just a follow-up.
Yep.
Did you have an injury, surgery, or procedure that allowed you to be there in the off season?
Yeah, so I had a PRP done on my knees, just like I do every off season. So I was classified as a rehabbing player because of that procedure. I do it for maintenance purposes, and the first couple weeks and all that kind of stuff was what allowed me to be here and train with our staff.